All right, today we're going to talk about taking command of the data that powers your platform. We're going to focus on a really critical mission, making sure every single piece of information flowing in is both secure and, just as importantly, reliable. Okay, so I want you to picture this. Think of your platform not just as software, but as a massive, bustling international airport. Every single second, data is taking off and landing from all over the world, from countless different systems. It's this constant, incredible flow of valuable information. Now, with all that traffic zipping around, the most important question is pretty obvious, right? Who's in the control tower? Who's making sure everything runs smoothly, preventing collisions, and guiding every piece of data to its proper gate?
Well, guess what? That's you. As an admin, you are the air traffic controller for your platform. It's your job and your power to direct this flow and make sure everything is secure and accounted for.
So as the traffic controller, your job really boils down to two main things. First, you've got to secure the airspace, making sure only authorized data can even get close. And second, you have to confirm every single landing, verifying that the data you are expecting actually showed up, safe and sound.
All right, let's tackle that first duty head-on, securing your airspace. And that whole process begins with understanding the main entry points into your platform in the first place.
You know, the main way other systems talk to your platform is through something called an API. That stands for Application Programming Interface. The easiest way to think of it is just a designated door that you've opened to let data flow in and out. And that's super useful. But let's be real, any open door needs a really, really good lock. And this really paints the picture, doesn't it? An unsecured API is basically a wide open gate with no guard. Anybody can just wander in. A secured API, on the other hand, is a locked gate. You absolutely need the right key to get through.
So what is that key? Well, that's your API key. It's a unique code that you give out, and it acts as the very first layer of security for your data's front door. You only give this key to partners you know and trust. But, just having a key isn't the end of the story. We can do way better. What if we created an exclusive, pre-approved airline list? One that makes sure only certain partners can even approach our gate to try their key. That's the next level of security we're talking about, IP whitelisting. And that's exactly what IP whitelisting is. Instead of just relying on a key that could, in theory, get lost or stolen, you're creating an exclusive guest list. Only data signals coming from servers on this specific list will even be acknowledged. Everything else, it's just ignored before it even gets close. And the best part? Setting this up is actually super simple. You just head over to the security section in your control center, find the API whitelist, and you start plugging in the IP addresses of the servers you trust. It takes just a few clicks, and bam, your perimeter is massively reinforced.
And here's what makes this so incredibly powerful. This isn't some halfway measure. The moment you add even one single IP address to this list, the gate effectively slams shut for the entire rest of the internet. It's an all-or-nothing security lockdown, and it's fantastic. Okay, so our airspace is secure. Awesome. Now what about that second core responsibility? Confirming that every piece of data that was supposed to be sent was actually received. We have to verify every single landing. That confirmation, it comes in the form of something called a postback, which you might also hear called a webhook. Let's go back to our airport. After a successful conversion happens, the advertiser's server sends a quick signal, a little ping, to your server. It's just like the pilot radioing in, "Hey, control tower, we've landed safely at the gate." But, and this is a big but, what happens if a system tells you it sent the data, but for some reason it never actually arrived correctly? The pilot made the call, but you look out at the gate and the plane is nowhere to be seen. This is where auditing becomes absolutely essential. See, you can't just take their word for it. You have to check the logs yourself. You've got to actively audit your incoming webhooks to make sure every expected signal, every landing, was properly received and processed by your system. Luckily, your platform has the perfect tool for this exact job. It's called the Advertiser Postback Report, and you can think of it as your official master flight log. It records every single postback that hits your server, good or bad. So when you're looking at this log, you're basically hunting for problems. This table shows a few common error codes you might see. For example, look at code 13, invalid click. That means a conversion was reported, but your system can't find the original click that it belongs to. That's a ghost flight, and you need to figure out why that's happening. At the end of the day, your goal is a clean log. Simple as that.
Seeing a consistent pattern of errors isn't just a minor issue. It is a bright red warning light flashing on your dashboard. It's telling you there's a broken connection somewhere, and that could mean lost revenue or a really unhappy partner. It's your cue to investigate, and fast.
And really, that brings it all together, doesn't it? When you combine strong API security, that's your secure airspace, with diligent webhook auditing, your verified flight log, you get total control over your data flow. You're not just passively watching the traffic anymore, you are actively commanding it.
So I'll leave you with this one question. Now that you know how to secure your gates and how to audit your logs, take a second to think, which one of your data connections, right now, really needs a thorough flight check today?